gaming paradise.
Good morning and welcome once again, folks, to the Counter-Strike Global Offensive World Championships here from Belgrade, Serbia. I'm Sir Scoots. I'm joined this morning by Thorin, by Natu, and Vendetta. Gentlemen, how are you this morning?
Oh, great.
I'm alive.
We're chippy.
I'm here.
We're chippy. We're happy.
Oh, yeah.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Obviously, best thing about a day like today, all best of threes, 4 solid matchups. The first one we're going to do, we'll talk a little bit of all of them. First ones we're going to do is obviously Poland versus Kyrgyzstan. Kind of this dark horse Kyrgyzstan comes out of nowhere. Thumped pretty well in the qualifiers, kind of destroyed everyone until they met Vietnam. Vietnam then thumped them, but then they had a visa issue, couldn't come, so Kyrgyzstan gets able to come in. And again, here they are. They're at day 3. They've made it into the quarters. Very, very cool stuff.
Admittedly, Scott, they were in the group that lost someone, and then they had to play Tunisia, so it's not exactly that. And they did upset the powerhouses of Tunisia, so
that is
we're
true.
looking for a confident win here. You have to be real. Of all the teams who've made it into the quarterfinals, Kyrgyzstan is the one that has, in theory, the worst chance.
Sure.
The least chance. We know the least about them. They have the least experience playing at the top level, and unfortunately for them, I mean, it could have been worse. They could have been playing against France right now. But with that said, they're going to be playing against a team who impressed us yesterday, who actually managed to, just pull off some great play against what was supposed to be the tournament favorites. So I'm feeling like this is the monster underdog story in terms of this first round of the playoffs.
I think it's going to be an impossible task, basically. Coming against players that have played majors, obviously have proved themselves, have a lot of international experience by now. Kyrgyzstan, we obviously don't have a lot of expertise on, but they don't get to play against international competition all the time. So yeah, it's going to be a tall task.
Yeah, if the Russia game they had previously, or a couple of days ago, was any sort of indication, they're not really there. They're not there. Sure, they might get a couple of rounds versus Poland, but expecting them to win a best of 3 is, I think that's a bit too far-fetched for anyone, really. Yeah. No. So, I don't see that going too well for Kyrgyzstan, but I guess they'll just have to look at this as a great opportunity to get some experience and take that as a bit of a motivational boost back home.
Yeah. And again, they're kind of in that nothing to lose situation.
Yeah.
They were here. They were first in the building. They were warming up even before I got here. So, again, that extra 20 minutes maybe not going to help you, but at least like they're going to give it their all,
Just shows your mentality's in the right
yeah,
place.
Exactly.
Getting everything you can ready. At the end of the day, all you can do when you go on the server is just play. You can't make that worlds better, but you can definitely set everything up, try and make things comfortable, everyone focus before we go in, not trying to build up to, like if you look when France plays, they really do bring that envious mentality into it, where it's like, well, first sort of 6 rounds, we'll just figure out what we're doing here, like what we're going to do on this map. Like we'll learn as we go, guys, and then we figure we'll just headshot them all at the end. The one downside I see for Kyrgyzstan is you'd think, since we don't know anything about them, hey, maybe they've got the surprise factor. But the only map we've actually seen them do particularly well on against was, Russia was obviously the only quality opponent they played, and they did well on Cobblestone. Yeah. Or what was the map that Poland beat France on? It was Cobblestone. So it's hard to even feel that confident, like, oh, if they can just get it to Cobblestone, maybe. I'm feeling as though for the Polish guys, after what they did yesterday, they don't even have to come with that level. They can win this series, and they'll be through to the semifinals.
Yeah, and we've got some stats from Poland, so we'll show those first. And again, we were kind of talking, and I think you even tweeted that, like, France, Germany, like that, it kind of like messed up what would have maybe been a final with France, Germany.
The problem is that could have been the final, obviously, Germany versus France, the way it was going. And the reason why I felt sorry about that is normally if someone messes up in the group and they come second, you go, right, well, you messed up your own chance there. You're going to go out in the quarterfinal. The problem is France is still such a phenomenal team that I get the feeling they're just going to beat Germany anyway. And all they'll have done there is screwed Germany over and made them go out in the round of 8, whereas Germany probably should be in the minimum semi-finals, So I just feel a bit bad for the Germans. Yeah. With that said, though, if Germany comes out and they beat France, then it's like egg on your face, mate. You got wrecked.
Not you.
They probably won't say that. You don't really say that often in Germany.
Look at the stats. What's jumping out for you?
I mean, you can tell from it, they obviously are very, very equal. So it's been a team effort for Poland. Aside from the little miracles, a lot of clutches that they've had, it's been a lot about them doing things pretty much right. Just playing together as a team, attacking sites together, and it's actually looking like an actual team. That's the one thing that's going for them is they have a lot of synergy going on with this team, and I guess the stats sort of prove that.
Yeah, I really think the common denominator between the most successful teams we've seen so far is the fact that they've actually got some sort of history. Within the lineup they've sent here, they have at some point played in a team together. And you can clearly see the benefits of it. Obviously, Poland were able to top France, which was unexpected, but that's partly because they know what they're doing. They know they can trust each other in a certain situation. Same thing with Germany when they beat Sweden. They were looking like an actually well-oiled machine compared to some of the other teams we've seen who've been up and down, to put it nicely. I mean, you've got the US who are unfortunately no longer with us, but
I mean,
Yeah.
what I kind of felt when I watched the Poland team was, I actually thought to myself, I think probably the best job they've done overall is picking a team which somehow, maybe they knew it, like maybe they picked the team that was the most friendly with each other, or there was no beef between two players or something. Because, for example, one of the things we can point to in the France lineup is like, yeah, it looks great on paper, they all played together, but literally, Happy just cut Smiths like a few months ago. It's essentially saying, I don't want to play with you.
Yeah.
So instead, you look at the Poland team, and what's funny is if you'd asked me to list my best 5 Polish players not in VP, I'd have had a couple of different names on there. I might have had Minis on there, obviously, maybe Hyper, but they've gone with a different lineup instead, and this one's working probably better than the one I would have picked would have actually. So maybe they just had a good idea for what the chemistry would be.
Yep.
Actually
And we,
it's funny how
I'm gonna come back to you.
All right.
We did an interview with the Poland guys, so we
Yeah,
want to get that
let's
going,
do
and
it.
then we'll come back and get your point. Go ahead and roll that right now.
It's awesome, and I've been in the previous European Championship, and it was well organized, and we enjoyed our time there. And we're looking forward to even better tournament right now, and I don't know, hoping for the best result for us.
Well, it's really hard to tell because we didn't have like a lot of games together, but we've managed to beat Slovakia to get here, and I mean, we had some pretty nice communication, and everything was pretty much working out pretty well for us. So I feel we are going to come strong here.
The first place is probably impossible to reach. I mean, I don't want to underestimate us or anyone else except France, because they came with one of the best lineups in the whole competition, if not the best. So I don't know, we are afraid of France, but I think if we play well and show some good level, we can beat Netherlands and USA, and maybe fight with France as well, but I don't know, all depends on day, and yeah.
I wouldn't say that we fear any of the teams. We just have respect for every single team. It's really hard to say like which team is going to be strong and which team is going to play like weak, because it's mix of players from a lot of teams. Like I think only France got like we're pretty sure that they are going to come really strong here, and I would say that they are like the biggest favorite here from our perspective, I think.
I think that everyone have equal chances to win the tournament and do some crazy stuff, but well, we expect the Serbia to come strong in this tournament. Like,
I think we are going to look forward to step up together as a team. We don't want for anyone to feel like they have some pressure to carry the team or something like this. We just want to play together as a team, communicate as a team, and just focus on winning particular match and particular round in particular match.
We've got the Kyrgyzstan out to you with these guys. Obviously, they're very unknown to all of us, but in this sense,
Well, one thing I do know is that they must be fans of Western Counter-Strike, because they have used our kind of naming system here, like S, capital NK with a hyphen, and this guy's got the capital R at the end there. He's picked it up maybe from Johnny R back in the day or something. Yeah, I mean, I don't recognize any of the players, obviously. In terms of the stats here, the rating on the side would suggest that the best player is going to be Dai, and in theory, the weakest player is going to be Kamazik, but I mean, we only saw them against limited competition so far. Even in their qualifier, they were presumably playing against other people from their region. So I think basically this match right here could be like the breakout period for any of these players. Like even if they are, as a team, never go on to do anything, and probably they're never going to become top pro players. But if they had one memorable match here, if one of them had one crazy map and he had like 25 kills or some crazy 4-kill with an all, he'll never be remembered for anything else, but he might be remembered for that, actually. Like, oh, remember that time they did that in that championship?
I think it's a similar storyline as against Russia. The first map is the one where they're going to surprise. They can actually get to double digits even if they get this right start. But yeah, I don't see them obviously winning. Second map is probably going to be a stomp. But the early rounds of the matches where they can actually bring something to us, and we're looking forward to it actually.
Yeah, it's basically going to be if they can surprise Russia, catch them sleeping. Because obviously the quality in Russia's lineup is probably
Poland?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's
too early for me. Yeah, but yeah, obviously, but even still rings true. The quality in Poland's lineup is vastly greater than the one in the lineup of Kyrgyzstan, at least as far as we know as of right now.
And again, like you said, like
You have to assume, right?
this is the game of their life right now. I'm sure they've never been on a stage like this
I'm
in this
sure
kind of
they'll
sense.
enjoy this. I'm sure
Yeah.
they're going to love it.
Yep.
This is going to be something that they'll be telling back home, be like, yo, we get to do this.
And we actually, we're able to sit down and talk to them, so we're going to go ahead and hear what they had to say about the event and coming here.
Time when we are abroad from our country, so it's very exciting, very amazing feel because it's our. In Serbia we didn't go in Europe, never. Yeah, so it's our first time. So this is very this hotel very nice, very nice atmosphere, and our people like it to be here, and they're very excited for tomorrow game. So we think tomorrow we will show how we can play on LAN, LAN gaming. Yeah. I think we can do it because we played with Russians too many times. Not with this team, but we always playing with European. We're from Asia, but we playing with European because we have not so big ping for Europe, and I think we can do it. For Tunisia, I don't know how they play. I didn't play never with them, so I cannot be so confident we can win. But we always hope to do our best. I be very confident to going out of group because we played with Russia so many times, but I don't think so. I don't think we can play with Tunisia as well. Very nice because we didn't know how they're playing. We're playing too many times with the European, and I think we will show you and everybody our good game. Of course, everybody watch from outside of European. It's like six countries. It's Indonesia, Singapore, we, Tunisia, and also I think it's Canada and USA. I think everybody can surprise, of course, America because they always have their own style of play of game. And Asian teams, I want to see here China and Vietnam because we didn't play with them on LAN or on nice ping. So I think maybe Asian teams can shock everybody, but I can't say, yeah.
All right, so now we've heard from both teams. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. It is a best of three. So the maps were Train is our first map, and that was picked by Poland. Second map, Dust 2, picked by Kyrgyzstan, leaving randomized or veto-wise, we didn't get that info. Cash is going to be the tiebreaker if need be. So starting on the end, predictions on each map and overall prediction.
Yeah, no, we were thinking to ourselves that if Kyrgyzstan are going to pick up quite a few rounds, it's going to be on the first map. Going into Train, I think that might be a tough task. That's the one thing that worries me. I think they would have been better off starting off on Dust 2, simply because, as we mentioned several times, it's a more variable map. Things can happen, and you can get a bit of momentum rolling, even though you might be a lesser team, quality-wise. So a bit afraid for Kyrgyzstan in that sense. Overall, predictions should be fairly easy for Poland.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. What he said, Train is going to be a super hard map. I think actually Dust 2 is a map that Poland shouldn't be playing against when they're playing top European nations, actually, because it's a map that Virtus Pro never plays. It's a map that Vex doesn't really play either. So it's not something that they have a lot of routine on. So, who knows? Kyrgyzstan could be picking up some rounds on that, actually. I don't see them actually picking a lot of rounds on Train. So maybe it's going to be the other way around. They'll get some rounds on Dust 2, but Train's going to be a stomp. But it's going to be 2-0 for Poland.
Yeah, I think Train's going to be an absolute stomp. Not least because, I know the Vexed guys, that's one of the maps that they originally got into the previous major, ESL 1 Cologne, by winning on in the qualifier. So we know that's a good map for them. It's a very difficult map if you're not a real team who've played lots of different strats and smokes, etc. If you don't have the smokes, basically, you're not going to take the site. So it's going to be really, really tough on the T side for the Kyrgyzstan guys. So I'm thinking they're going to get smashed on that map. Dust 2, there's always a small chance to some degree, especially because, like Natu said, it's not like the Polish guys favor this map and they're really good on this map. It's like they're playing Envious or the Americans or something. But I'm still thinking that should be a comfortable win. So I'm thinking 2-0 for Poland.
Yeah, and again, just to point out down below, obviously the esportsgaming.com has the betting odds going. You can see that kind of matching what you guys all think. The Not looking too good online either for Kyrgyzstan in the sense of the odds. So that's going to do it for us for this segment. We will come back either at the end of the game or if it ends up Kyrgyzstan ties it up 1-1, you'll see us again. But in the meantime, to take you through this whole cast, going to be Blue and Kyanite. Take it away, guys.
Hello? Hey, there we go. What's going on? Hold on, wait.
Hello? Hello?
There we go.
Okay. Thank you. Hallelujah. Welcome to Serbia. Blue, carry on with your intro.
And hello, Sava Center, everybody. We are here for our first match of the day, which is going to be between Poland and Kyrgyzstan. First map over here is going to be on cobblestone, of course. So what is your prediction? We already went over what the analysts thought. What do you think is going to be happening here?
Honestly, we're talking about a Poland team that beat France yesterday. Sure, it was a BO1, but this team has quality flowing through it. Kyrgyzstan, sure, they've managed to make their way through their group. Obviously, they were the group with only 3 teams. You can argue that they were very fortunate. I just don't think that they've got enough depth and quality in this lineup to really even get more than double digits, let alone one map against Poland. So I'm just going to predict 2-0.
Yeah, obviously we've seen Kyrgyzstan do quite okay in their match versus Russia the first game over on cobblestone, but the same story as the analysts went over. Same thing happened in their game versus France, where they did very well there on cobblestone as well. They've had some good games there. So overall, it kind of bounces back and forth. Kyrgyzstan, I mean, the biggest thing that we can look at here for Kyrgyzstan is the fact that, again, they've come into this extremely prepared. Me as well as Neil the other day, when we were still in the group stages for them, we had a pretty good chance to talk to them and see, how they were thinking about this, what they were doing in this event. And I mean, they're pumped to be here, man. They want to prepare for this. They were in here, and they were in here as early as I think they could possibly be. I know that me and Scoots walked in, and we saw them in here already practicing and whatnot. So they're hungry. They want to take it. They want to try to make it on to the semifinals there. I know it's going to be a very daunting task, but at the very least, they're going to try to push for it. Talking about some of the performances coming out from the Kyrgyzstani players and taking a look at how they overall went over. We actually we just looked at the stats and generally how that went because there's not a whole lot of history for these guys. And the top player, just looking at that and some of the Half-Life TV stats, it tended to be Die, but overall, actually, looking at their group stage performance, at least in the game I got to cast with them, it didn't really seem that Die was doing all that well. Players like Pachanga actually surprised me quite a bit. He did really, really well on the group stage, so I think we're going to be looking to see some of that from him today. Yeah,
100%. I believe I casted a game of these guys earlier on in the groups on Dust 2, and they really, really, really did look like a very solid drilled lineup, and I'm actually looking forward to see how they do up against Poland. My gut feeling tells me that they really are going to struggle on train. The guys at the desk said it's not really an ideal warm-up map so early on in the morning. It's a map that's all about your set pieces, and I feel like if they lose the knife round and end up starting on the terrorist side, then they might struggle to warm things up correctly, and I don't know, I just hope that they don't fall behind by too many rounds and their heads end up dropping. But as we've seen, you mentioned it, they're very positive. They've got, hopefully, a lot of character. So if they do find themselves in a scenario where they are 5-0 down, 6-0 down, hopefully, fingers crossed, their heads won't drop and they'll start to show us some of that quality that they showed us in the group stages.
And indeed, as we take a look at some of the performances from Poland yesterday, I think easily the biggest star coming up from that team happened to be Michu. And maybe we saw that. I was able to cast the game that they had going. I believe that was versus versus the Netherlands was the one I was able to watch. And I mean, round after round, we saw these star performances from Michu. He was an absolutely crazy player. And I mean, he brought his A game here to this event. Not only him, but some of the other ones as well. Just taking a look at that, Spiro did very well. Pete as well was another one that, although we didn't really see him getting too high on the frag count in a lot of the games, actually, I mean, he was a very impactful player, using the op quite a bit there, specifically over on Cash on that map, potentially getting himself and saving his team in plenty of rounds on the CT side there. So a whole lot of star performances from Poland, and they're not seeming that they're lapsing at all here coming into this event at all.
No, not at all. And Miku, obviously we touched on it a few days ago, I believe, where we mentioned that he actually attended one of the Gfinity events with Virtus Pro. There was some tension within the Virtus Pro lineup. There was apparently rumors of Snacks maybe dropping out of that lineup, and they actually brought Miku in. And not only can he AWP, but he's a very versatile player as well. He's a brilliant rifler, and I'm quite confident that throughout this game, his quality is going to shine up against Kyrgyzstan.
And taking a look, I believe our first map, once again, is going to be Train, I believe. So taking a look at that one, definitely I would say, the analysts went over this a little bit. We can go over it too, as I believe we're still waiting for everybody to get readied up in the game. But taking a look at, the first map here, which is going to be Train, definitely a pretty pretty hard map, I would have to say, for not just Kyrgyzstan and not just newer teams in general, but any team of sort of this caliber here, just because of the fact that it's a fairly new map and a lot of people, it doesn't have a whole lot of established strategies and whatnot with it yet. So I think it's going to be a pretty tough map for them. What do you think of this map?
It's not just that. Like I said, it's one of those more team-orientated maps. You've got to be able to execute your set pieces, and that requires great communication, not just with the team that's trying to execute towards a bomb site, but with the lurker as well, because the lurker will also play a crucial role on maps like this. It's similar to maps like Mirage and Inferno. When you want to execute, you've got to lob your smokes over the walls, lob your Molotovs as well, to be able to infiltrate the bomb sites and sort of cancel out areas in which the CTs could potentially be hiding. And what worries me is, I mean, Poland, some of these guys have constantly interchanged between teams, between each other, so I'm not really worried for them. With this Kyrgyzstan side, as we can see, only really Pachanga and Kwacha both play for AON Esports. The rest, one of them is teamless apparently, and the other two play for two completely different teams. So it just completely depends on how much they've boot camped before this event, how much chemistry there is between these players. Otherwise, I really do feel like they are going to struggle.
And another thing I'm worried about too, and this is a good point that the analyst brought up with this map as well, is the fact that, again, the CT side can often be troublesome in this map if your rotations are off or if the calls aren't coming in quickly enough, because those takes, specifically on the outside yard, could just happen so quickly that you're not even expecting it. They go in, they've already got the bomb planted, especially if they have a good smoke setup. And I imagine with the familiarity of Poland among all 5 of their players, they're going to have that T-side strategy. They're going to have it going. But as for Kyrgyzstan, as you already mentioned, they're still sort of just getting themselves melded together here in this event. They're still getting used to each other's play styles, and because of that, the communication, it will depend a lot on the in-game leaders' calls and whatnot, and of course, the rest of the team too, how well they're able to correspond to events that are going to be happening throughout the rounds. But if they're not able to get those calls out quickly enough, then we could very quickly just see those takes happening, and we'll be even denied of any attempts at retakes to begin with.
Yeah, and this Polish side, they love playing an aggressive brand of Counter-Strike. I mean, we call Virtus Pro Virtus Plow for a reason.
Yeah.
And historically, Polish teams have always loved to play an aggressive brand of Counter-Strike. And what worries me here, if Poland start on the CT side and they start pushing the choke points on this map, instead of playing passive from the back of, for example, the outer bomb site, they start pushing ladder room, get someone in there up close and personal, start pushing the side connector, get 2 players who are going to quickly Molotov and smoke down the side alleys so that Kyrgyzstan are essentially still stuck in the white holes in T-spawn. And with that clock running down, they might eventually find themselves in a situation where they just have no answer to the Poles. So I think Kyrgyzstan, if they do end up starting on the T side, I think it's going to be crucial for them to try and win the pistol round, capitalize on the next 2, and at least build a small buffer going into the proper gun rounds before they figure out what the right key will be to try and unlock the Polish defense. But in general, I really am struggling to see Kyrgyzstan really winning this game or getting anything out of this game, and I don't want to sound too one-sided, but it's just being honest.
And I'm pretty sure the odds we have would agree with you in that regard. But taking a look at things and overall here, even the hometown favorite, if we look at the crowd, I'm pretty sure we saw yesterday in Poland's matches there, everybody was rooting for Poland. Everybody wants to see them come out on top, so I'm sure that that's going to be helping them out a little bit here in the arena too.
Well, even Thorin got angry when Poland lost the second half pistol round. I'm sure people have seen that on Twitter. But yeah, okay, come on. Give me a prediction for Train, specifically. An actual score.
I'm going to say Poland about 16-5, around there, something like that.
I was going to say 16-5. Okay, I'll say 16-6, just for the sake of it.
All right, guys, well, it does look like we'll be going live here at any moment, so let's jump into the map and take a look at it. It's Poland versus Kyrgyzstan here in the first quarterfinal of the World Championships, live from the Sava Center in Belgrade, Serbia.
Yeah, Poland, like they've got, I believe, yep, there we go, 4 men in the white halls. And what's one person from T-spawn who decided to actually smoke off connector? It's going to be Spero, the E-Battle man, to lead the rally towards this B bomb site. Pachanga's going to get first blood though with that USPS, taking the headshot onto Miku. Pachanga looking to get another one. It's actually going to be dying. The CTs here, they're dominating Poland. That bomb is ticking, but it's a 5 versus 2, and surely they're going to manage to drop the last 2 poles and defuse the bomb.
And Poland still in the back holes here, trying to find their way back into the site, but they're having trouble doing this. Innocent trying to work his way down ramp, but there's so many players. He goes in, he finds one, but that's instantly traded back out by Kamazik, and SNK trades it back out to you, so the plant comes in, but we should be seeing it. Actually, no, I don't believe there's going to be enough time left. Oh, no, sorry, they had a kit, so they are going to be able to sneak that in, and Kyrgyzstan will be actually picking up the first round.
Great stuff from Kyrgyzstan. Obviously, this most certainly does mean that they managed to win the all-important 9th round, and they have started on the more favored CT side, so expect them to want to rack up 10 or 11 rounds. The question is, will they be able to do it? They can't afford to lose this round. Quatch has invested in the M4, 3 FAMASs as well. You just got to play this very passive now if you're on the CT side. Keep your distance. You cannot afford to give the Polish team any of these rifles.
And they've gone right for the big buy-ups here on Kyrgyzstan, already going for the rifles, and we've got the scout over there on Die as well, so they're not wasting any time at all, and picking up 2, 3 kills. It's a completely clean round, no deaths at all on the side of Kyrgyzstan. They go 2-0, and no one else is going to end up going down, so that's going to be great for building up the economy.
Yeah, 100%. Now the terrorists, most likely full eco from them. Oh wait, no, they planted on the pistol. My bad, so come on. They're going to force buy things up. 2 AKs, 3 AKs, 4 AKs. Let's see what they can do. In theory, this does suit the Poles a little bit more because the AK-47 is a much more stronger weapon as opposed to that of the FAMAS. But let's see whether Poland can actually make something happen. Furlan's made its way towards the ladder room as the smokes are going to be lobbed over towards the outer bomb side, but in the blink of an eye, Quacha and Die both chime in to get a killer piece. Kamazik, oh, so close to getting one. Quacha manages to finish off Michu in the end. 4 versus 2, and Pete is the last man standing. And this defense so far has been nothing short of brilliant.
A big thing that came into play here this round is the fact that overall, when you look at the buys that came out previously, of course, Kyrgyzstan pretty much already had everybody upgraded to rifles to begin with. So keeping all 5 alive there gave them a whole load of extra cash, and they could pretty much get a full utility kit going into this 3rd round too. And that, of course, helped to hold off a lot of the Polish aggression coming in from this round. But we're not over just yet. A lot of this has already happened very early on in the round, so we still have 50 seconds left. And you take a look here, at least with Quaker, you can still see that they're fairly low at this point. So overall here, if we can see him trying to make an entry into the inside yard, and if it goes well, looking at the positions right now, it's mainly only Die trying to defend this, so if Pete can find a way in, and if he can take minimal damage doing so, he might still have a chance to clutch this one out.
100%, he's going to make his way from the upper area. Die has spotted him with that scout, and can he pull off the shot? He's not dealt damage just yet, but 25 seconds on the clock. This man's going to try and get the bomb down. He's got to move fast. Rotation comes in, and Quacha will decimate him in the end. Poland losing the first gun round of the map, and Kyrgyzstan storming into a 3-0 lead.
And this is going to be huge for them too. But the analysts did bring this up, however. We did discuss this fact that, again, that Poland, this might be a factor that comes into play here, where Poland might take a few rounds just because of, you know, the surprise factor with Kyrgyzstan of how new they are to Counter-Strike, and the fact that, you know, they may not be aware of what exactly how they're going to play style this one. So Poland, it might be taking them a couple extra rounds to figure out just how exactly they're going to play this. However, for Kyrgyzstan, this is a huge moral victory for them, and regardless of what happens over these next few rounds, they've got a great lead to start things off, and you know this is going to help them in the long run of things.
Changa just peeking lower B area. It does seem like the split is going to come in from Poland, but they've got to up the tempo before the rotation comes in from the CT side. Taking their time.
2 on that inside yard here too from Kyrgyzstan, so they should be ready to hold this one off. It'll get a little bit rough because Dai's still working with that scout, but now they come in, and unfortunately he's not going to be able to connect anything very early on, but they're lining up. However, Michu gets the opening shot, and thankfully keep everybody alive. Now Dai's looking for some pot shots with this scout. He's lighting them up left and right, but he's not taking anybody down. However, Kamazik coming in the back, and there's Dai again. He's picked up 2 more kills. Michu and Pete have both gone down, and now you're looking at Furlan and Spiro, but they just roll right in and finish them off. Kyrgyzstan, they're going to finish it off again, and they pick up yet another round here.
Yeah, that was always going to be tough for Poland. No armor, only pistols. To be honest, they did well to even get towards the bomb site and plant the bomb in the first place. But fair play, credit where it's due to Kyrgyzstan. You know, we've seen teams sort of lose rounds in that kind of scenario before, where they get complacent, end up giving away some of those rifles to their opponents. And then once the bomb's down, it's fairly simple bomb site holds because of the firepower that you pick up from the dead CTs. But Poland, this is their chance now to shine. Pete's got the AWP, Spero as well. Double up setup. Let's see what they can do.
Spiro already trying to take a shot there, but unfortunately not connecting it there, so he's going to give away his early position. And we can see here too that SNK going to get extremely aggressive, but unfortunately Michu is ready for that. The pop flash connected onto the one player further down the alley hall, but not going to catch Michu as he gets out of the way of that. So finally Kyrgyzstan losing their first man a little bit earlier on. However, there's Da getting the correction kill. Finds Spiro as he gets a little bit over aggressive with that peek. And now they're still going to hold strong here, but there's Pete as well. That duel back over through Ivy is going to connect another kill here for Poland, and now they've got the man advantage once again.
Kamazik going so aggressive straight through the side connector, pop flashed in, and Furlan is going to have his face ripped off. Kamazik picks up the AWP, gets the double, and Poland here are being massacred on train.
Now we look at how exactly Poland are going to try to play this out. They know where the bomb is now, but Innocent all this time has snuck his way into the outside yard. But look at Pachanga. He's also going to be on a pretty big flank here, keeping himself nice and quiet, sneaking up onto these players. They'll have an opportunity to catch one. Should have just seen him, and Quaker's still in the sight too, so he should be able to catch this. But now they work in. Quaker's going to be under some pressure here, but again, keep in mind Pachanga. Now he rolls in, but he doesn't connect the shot. Pete gets the kill, and now Quaker also going to fall. So Poland, off of what could have been an amazing comeback from Kyrgyzstan, it doesn't happen, and we see Poland picking up their first point.
Talk about that massacre, didn't happen in the end, did it? But credit where it's due to the CT side. I mean, even though they lost that round, it's good to see that Kyrgyzstan have that confidence. For example, the player towards the B bomb site realized there was nothing going on around a minute into the round, decided to push the white halls, realized it was clear, gathered that information, but in the end, it was just a moment of magic from Pete to do that 180 spin and somehow pull off the AWP shot, which was really the turning point for me in that 3 versus 2 situation.
Now we take a look. Pete again, trying to get aggressive, trying to look outside as they're already smoking this up, as you can see, trying to find their way into the outside train yard. Baker will be looking to hold this here as they toss the nades out, but so far not a whole lot of damage connecting except over onto Die. But there's going to be Spiro now pushing forward. He picks up the first kill for Poland. Dimitri also pushing forward. Meets a little bit of trouble, but he gets the correction anyway onto this one. Finally, SNK finds something, but there's just not enough response coming out here from Kyrgyzstan at this point. Poland picking up kills left and right. It's left to both Pachanga and Die to try to work something with this one. They are still going to get aggressive with it as Pachanga pushes forward, but as far as Die is concerned, he's got that off. He wants to save it, so it is going to look like they'll be moving away from this one, and they'll let Poland pick up a second point.
Yeah, correct, 100% decision from Die. Seems like Pachanga is going to actually get slain, or maybe not. He's going to actually headshot Spero, leaving things at a 2 versus 2, but the bomb will still go off. Poland to take their second round, and 4-2 on the scoreboard so early on. It's not looking too badly anymore for Poland. Kyrgyzstan, they've now lost 2 in a row. Regardless of their economy, it's starting to get tight, but I think they can just force a mount up. So if they end up losing this one, they will finally be put back onto pistols, and Poland will be in with an opportunity to even things up at 4-all.
Yeah, this is going to be the attempt to empty it out, of course. Poland still going strong as far as this is concerned. And the big thing to remember, too, is Kyrgyzstan, although they've had a great start, they kind of need to keep it here because this map generally tends to be pretty CT-sided. So Poland, if they're going to be able to swing this back and take a big lead on T side, that's not going to bode well for when we switch sides here and Kyrgyzstan jumps on the T side, which is going to be a lot harder to work with for the reasons we talked about in the pregame.
Gotcha. Gone aggressive with that Swag 7 straight towards the ladder room. No Poles lurking in that area just yet. It does seem like they have their heart set towards this inner bomb site. Miku just lurking from behind, looking to join in on some of the action. And what's interesting here is that Kyrgyzstan initially didn't really have anyone defending this B bomb site. And in theory, it's going to be a free plan, but look who it is. Quacha's going to come in from behind, pick up the AK. Oh, couldn't get the hat-trick in the end. And Poland now need to hold off the incoming Kyrgyzstanians. Kamazik is looking to flank from behind, and Poland have no idea.
He's going to move in, and he's trying to keep his caution open, but he gets the 1 kill there, and he's trying to get a second. He gets that one! So all of a sudden, they bring this into a 3-on-1. Pete's trying to hold from upper entryway, but he's only got an op to work with, and Die's going to shut him down. So Kyrgyzstan respond back to this. They should have enough time to get that defuse, and they're going to be quite happy about this one, as now that saves their economy. They're not going to have to go on that eco, and now they pick up a 5th point.
Fantastic play from Kyrgyzstan, but questions do need to be asked of that after-plant hold from Poland. Why wasn't anyone watching from behind? You know, you can't afford to make mistakes like that. Kyrgyzstan, they stacked the A bomb site at the start of the round, so they knew as soon as the bomb went down, it was obviously going to be B. And then I believe they sent people through the ladder room into the white halls, and they then managed to flank the Poles from behind. But again, someone should have been watching that, and the Poles only have themselves to blame. At the moment, 2 AKs, 1 AWP, Furlan and Spero only on pistols. Let's see whether they can pull something out of the bag, but I don't fancy him.
And the thing about those flanks is this is like the 2nd or 3rd time that setup, at least, has happened here for Kyrgyzstan. Poland are relying too much on flick shot reactions here in order to save themselves. That has to be something that changes, because this is a pretty common thing now that Kyrgyzstan seems to be going for on their CT side. And if they're allowed to do this freely for so long, then of course it's just going to happen time and time again. In Poland, they're not always going to be able to get those clutch 180 shots.
I'd like to see Poland just utilize all the smokes that they've got, try and just execute a good old-fashioned simple set piece straight towards this larger A bomb site. Up the tempo a little bit and just try and brute force a bomb plant down. But before you go in, discuss it with each other. Who's going to watch what? Make sure you've got your after plant positions already under your belt before you get the bomb down, so that everyone knows what everyone's doing. And this is what I was talking about early on when I said at the end of the day, these guys are sort of still mixed teams and they're not going to be as drilled as normal teams. And we're starting to actually see sort of leaks from this Poland side.
Kamazik though in his 4th position, but Furlan able to catch him out anyway there. They were going to pick up the first kill on this one, and now they start to push in because that timer's getting low, but thankfully Kyrgyzstan has been sitting back playing this nice and patiently. SNK is going to find a kill and catches another player here too. Some good damage also being done over here.